Good evening, all of you. I was just checking the stream. Hi, good evening, Varun. Hello, Anuja. Hi, Dharmi. Good evening. Smita, Chetan, Diluted Gaming. Good evening. Hi, Samiksha. Hello, Shaina. Hi, Sanskar. Hello, Shruti, Shubham. Hi, Bhagyashree. Good evening. Janmashtami was fine. I don't celebrate it as such. So yeah, it was a good day. It's just a lot of people just posted pictures of their babies dressed as Krishnji. So I just saw those. Hi Priya, hello. Good evening Surbhi. Hello Alia. Hi Videep. Good evening Ankit, Mayur. The okay, so what are you currently able to look at your screen? For me, the stream seems a little stuck. That's why asking you. Hi, good evening. Good evening. Hello. So I hope you are able to see me on this slide. Last lap to MAH CET, VARC PYQP analysis. I welcome you to this session. And yes, so today we are going to look at what all kinds of questions have come in your past year papers in vocabulary, grammar, in verbal logic, right? So we are going to look at all of those. In the session today at 12 p.m., I covered an RC passage also with you. So in case you want to practice an RC passage that is of MAH CET level, you can watch that session. Okay. We also discussed some important aspects of solving RC passages. Okay. All right. All right. Perfect then. Perfect. So there seems to be a little lag for me. That's why I confirmed with you. All right. So hi Jay. Hi. Okay. All right. So currently it's the time wherein you can see, let's say, where you can improve in the mock. Let's say, in case you plan to take another now, so you can just see that, or you can analyze your previous mocks and then probably then evolve a strategy or improve on certain areas, right? But yes, now is the time to capitalize on your strengths, right? Now is that time. Good evening. Hey, hi Vijay. So you're used to saying good noon. Hello, Sarish. Right, let's begin with our PYQP analysis. And what I'll show you today is, I'll first show you some, let's say, the pattern of the VARC sections of slots in the last year, right? So some slots, there were 6 slots last year. So if we look at some slots here, in slot 2, RC passages carry 15 questions. Okay. Vocabulary again 15 to 16, grammar 10 to 12, and then we had verbal logic, which was para jumbles with 6 sentences and some miscellaneous questions. Okay, so that was how the pattern looked like. This was slot 2. If I talk about slot 4, now see here there was just one RC passage and just 6 to 7 questions. So a wide variation we can see from the previous slot. There 15 with 2 passages, one long, 4 very short passages, and here just one RC with 6 to 7 questions. So within slots themselves there were wide variations if I talk about last year. Vocabulary here also was 15 to 20, but here we saw some spelling questions. And spelling questions were slightly tricky because the words asked were not high frequency words. Okay, and this was not a feature that was present in all the slots. So there were wide variations among various slots last year, right? Sentence jumbles were also asked in addition to para jumbles. So we'll look at a sentence jumble today. It's an easier cousin of our para jumbles question. Okay, if you're able to solve para jumbles, I think you'll solve sentence jumbles in no time. Synonym antonym, I've categorized it separately. 5 questions on synonym antonyms were there. FIBs, these were based on both grammar as well as vocab. These were 5 in number. Right. So, you can see the variation. The main point of showing you this is to show you the major areas, of course, but by now you know those major areas. The point here is more of to show you the variations among various slots. Right. Now, if I look at reading comprehension, 12 here with very balanced passages, 6 plus 6, 2 passages with 6 questions each. So see, again the wide variation with slot 2, there we had 5 passages, 1 long and 4 very short, that made 15 questions. And here it was a pretty balanced affair with 6 plus 6. Then Synonym antonyms this time became 12 somehow for some reason, right? Error correction spotting, now a fair number of questions from here were asked. Sentence jumbles were again asked. So, as I said, we'll look at a question. And fill in the blanks were, I mean, probably they carried the highest proportion out of all the other areas, right? So, 20 questions on FIBs. These were based on both grammar and vocabulary. The idea behind this is to tell you that there were wide variations. Okay, so we analyze each area one by one and we look at some questions from each area. So that we are well versed with all the question types out there at least. We are able to face no matter how many question types come from a particular area. Alright, so number of questions from vocabulary, not constant. That's what my analysis shows me. Difficulty level is also not constant. So for instance, in one slot, as I told you, spelling questions were asked, which were not very easy. In the last slot, slot 6 that I showed you, the vocabulary based FIBs were particularly easy, right? Approximately, I can say that, okay, 15 to 20 questions. This is an approximation. 15 to 20 questions from vocabulary can be asked, right? So let's have a look at the question types that have been asked over the last years, the past years. Yes, closed test. I think we've had a dedicated session also on closed test in MAH CET. And we have even created a playlist for you, an MAH CET 2022 playlist that you can check for all the sessions on MAH CET that have been conducted till today, right? Um, so closed test, we've had a session. Most important idioms, we've had a session. Word usage, I believe we have covered it in as part of a number of sessions. Word rearrangement or interchange, again, I've covered it over 2 to 3 sessions called 4 topics in one class. Fill in the blanks. Now, fill in the blanks can be direct also, which we have done, and passage based also. Sometimes as part of your RC passages also, the question can ask you to fill in a particular blank based on the RC passage. So be prepared for that as well. Lastly, synonym antonyms, wherein synonym is those questions. Just a second. I am so sorry. This has been interchanged. This has been interchanged. Synonyms, direct also and passage based synonyms also. Fill in the blanks with different words in different blanks, which is the usual affair. If 3 blanks are given, 3 words come in those blanks. And this also, that you are given multiple blanks and one word will fit in all the blanks. So I have this sort of a question for you today. One word in all blanks. We will see that. Right? Okay, so I think we've analyzed a lot. Let's practice a question. So this is an antonym question here, right? Let's see what you say for this question. Irascible is the word. That's how we pronounce it. Irascible. Tell me what is the antonym of this word. Yes. All right. FIBs, fill in the blanks. FIBs, fill in the blanks. So Ratul, did you attend the session at 12 today? And so just go through the RC sessions that have happened so far, okay, and go through our critical reasoning sessions. Because I have discussed inference and conclusion in critical reasoning. I have discussed main idea questions as part of our RC sessions, okay. So I think once you attend those sessions, once you solve those RC passages, you will have a better understanding of these question types, okay. All right. B Bangalore, okay. C E. I have also got one. Okay, yeah, B C 1E. Then let's see. Okay, B versus C. We seem to be confused between B and C. What is the meaning of this word solicitous? Yes, solicitous. Someone who is concerned about something, someone who is caring. Okay, so that person is solicitous, right? So she showed a solicitous interest in his, let's say, tragic life. Okay, so solicitous interest, that means she was caring towards that person. Okay, she was concerned. That is solicitous. Irascible, it's again an adjective, and we need to know the meaning of this word. It actually comes from this root called ira. Okay, ira or ira, whichever way you want to pronounce it. It's a root which means anger. Okay, that's how we have irritated, irritable, okay, irascible, irate. All of these words come from this root ira. So irascible simply means irritable, चिड़चिड़ा, irritable. Okay, that is irascible. जल्दी से गुस्सा आ जाता है. That person. So I have to find an opposite of that. Solicitous, no. Solicitous means caring. So somebody who's careless or indifferent would be the opposite of it. Opposite of it, right? Somebody who's indifferent towards someone, or let's say to the point of being antipathetic, to the point of disliking the other person. That could be the opposite here. Here, the opposite would be C. So good. All of you who said C, friendly is the opposite here, right? Yes. Come on, guys. Please like the session. Uh, this is the least that we ask of you. Friendly is the answer for irascible. Good. Caring, showing concern, interested. All of you are correct. I'm just now reading your messages. Sushmita, Shruti. Absolutely. So C is the answer, friendly. Let's look at the meanings of the other word. Cunning. Someone who is chalak, right? It's basically clever is a word that has a sort of a neutral or positive connotation, a neutral or positive image attached to it, whereas cunning has a negative image attached to it. The cunning fox, if you remember the story, the fox was not good there, right? Roguish, yes, roguish. Someone who's dishonest. A rogue, it's also used as a noun, a rogue, a ruffian, right? So somebody who's unprincipled, dishonest, that person is roguish. So again, associate it with someone, let's say whom you know. It could be some character from a novel that you've read or from a movie that you've seen. Just associate the word rogue and roguish with them. Okay, so unprincipled, dishonest. Racist, no. That is just because it has this RAS in it, that does not make it the antonym, okay, of irascible. C is the answer here. Hope. Racist is somebody who discriminates on the basis of race, right? So, for instance, blacks versus whites. So, if the whites discriminate against blacks based on the fact that they are blacks, they are being racist, right? Okay. So, I hope this is clear to you, and C is the answer. Yes, Vicky, that's my concern. Do I know why everyone is not, why, not everyone is liking the session? I have no idea. Uh, have a look at another question, an idiom question this time. So, four idioms, one option is none of these. Let's see, what can you say? A crook, yes, can be similar to a rogue. Absolutely, Varun. It was the antonym, yes, diluted gaming. We have to be careful about the question instructions always. Okay, so this time it's a fill in the blank. Vicky is looking for Kashish because she insists us on liking the session. Yes. All right. D Delhi. That's what I'm getting. Okay. Others. All right. So this time it's a unanimous D. Absolutely correct. D Delhi is the answer here. Back against the wall. So if you have your back against the wall, that means you're in a really tough spot. You're in a tight spot. That's again an idiom. You're in a tight spot. You're in a tough situation, right? And you have to act. You're forced to act in order to, let's say, avoid failure. That's why you're forced to act. That's when you have your back against the wall. So let's say, for instance, a person who's borrowed money from everyone out there. Now he has to repay one of the parties' money, right? So this person, or let's say multiple parties ask for money at the same time. So this person has his back against the wall, is in a tight spot. Also, there is another idiom here. It's not just the options. Baying for someone's blood. When you bay for someone's blood, you are, you are forcing them. Basically, you're angry at them. You threaten them. You threaten to be violent. You're after their blood. That is called baying for someone's blood, right? So threatening someone, a threat of violence, right? Then get your act together. So we are going to learn 5 new idioms from this. Some of these could be old for you. If I ask you, get your act together. Let's say your room is very messy and I tell you, just clean all of this, get your act together. So I'm asking you to organize things and organize yourself more effectively. That is what it means to get your act together. Baying is to shout angrily at someone. That is to bay. Yes, yes, yes. Just a second. Yes. Khoon ka pyasa. Yes, yes, absolutely correct, Bharat. Khoon ka pyasa is the Hindi for it. To bay as a verb, to bay as a verb is to shout angrily. To shout angrily, right? So with bands baying for his blood, the idiom means bands are actually after him. They are threatening him. Okay. Over defaults in payments. Over defaults in payments. Over default in payments. He has his back against the wall. Right. To call it a day, I think you understand. Right. So to call it a day, what does that mean? It means to just stop doing what you are doing. Okay, so for instance, if after a hectic day, you tell your colleagues, okay, guys, let's call it a day. Let's call it a day. That means you say, oh, I'm tired. Let's just wrap up for today. We'll continue tomorrow, perhaps. Or let's say it could have a slightly more negative meaning when you give up on something, right? So you've been trying to become an actor for years, and now you decide, probably it's not going to happen. So you call it a day. You just wrap it up. You stop doing it, right? So I'm seeing some interesting messages in the chat box. Things getting out of your hand. Simply things getting out of your control. That is things out of his hand. So I hope this is clear. 5 idioms for you, right? 5, 6 idioms. Out of this, I hope 2 to 3 at least are new for you. So D Delhi is the answer here. Absolutely. Done for the day. Stop working, leaving, giving up. All of you are correct. Shruti, Prasad, Anuja. Absolutely. Okay. Now here's the word usage question. So I think the questions that we've done so far, they were familiar. Yes. Word usage, we have done it as part of our diverse sessions, right? Wherein 4 topics in one class, such mixed sessions, we have done word usage also there. So conflict is the word here. You have to identify the statement in which the word fits contextually to convey a logical meaning. Yes. All right. So Vicky, is this also an idiom? रेत पे चल गई हाथों से. I haven't really heard it. Okay. A. All right. One. Okay. All right. Others. Others. Hmm. Okay. So only the first one is correct here. I am sorry. I think I forgot to write the options for this. Okay, so the options were only one and two, all one, two, and three. Right? These would be your options in the exam. 5 options. You'll not be given 3 options. Right? So the first sentence here, you're absolutely right. That is the correct one. I was able to conflate the two processes into one, blending it down into a solid formula. So basically, from the context itself, it's clear that conflate means to combine, right? The bag is divided into combined compartments. This does not make sense. Okay. Conflate is anyway a verb. It's not an adjective. We can't use it here. The dogs started to snarl at each other. So I had to calm them down. Right? I had to calm them down. Not conflate them. You can't combine dogs. Right? So one is the answer here. Basically, first is the only correct sentence. Clear? Everything so far? Yes? Good evening, Kashish. Good evening. So some students were asking for you. Yes. Word interchange. Now, read the instructions very, very carefully here. Oh, I added the instructions, but somehow they're not here. Just a second. So I added instructions here, but probably that didn't get saved. Basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words are given to you. 5 words are given to you. Only one is in correct position. Only one is in correct position. You have to tell me which is that word which is in its correct position. Tell me. Yes. Word interchange. One word out of these is in its Correct position. Bharat, let's see. Let's see. Right now, read it with all your concentration and tell me what should come here. Okay. I've got two B's. Okay. All right. Then extinct. Shubham says B. Nikit says E. All right. So B, E. B versus E in the chat box. All right. Somehow I now see a flood of E. Okay. And it has become a deluge, a heavy flood now. A lot of you saying E. All right. They has given us a complete order here. Okay. Absolutely correct. E is the answer and not, I think you were saying B. No. uh, Tasmanian dash have been released. Have been, see plural. Take the help of grammar also at times. No. So wild can't come here. In unless I mean okay Tasmanian wild animals and I'm calling them wild. I'm using wild to mean wild animals, which is incorrect. Okay. So either devils or marsupials. Either devils should come here or marsupials. Now they have been released into the wild. If you are able to recall the show Into the Wild, then also you will get it correct. Okay. On Australia's dash, on Australia's land, right? So on Australia's mainland. Okay. So 3,000 years after the feisty, who is a feisty person? Someone who's lively, energetic, and sometimes it's also used for aggressive. Okay. So let's say aggressive because we're talking about wild animals, we're calling them devils. So feisty devils make sense here. Yes, and this will be marsupials. So Tasmanian marsupials have been released into the wild on Australia's mainland 3,000 years after the feisty devils went extinct there. So they went extinct. This part, even if let's say you didn't arrange the others, you didn't have to arrange the others, this part somehow seemed right. They went extinct. Okay, and from the other sentence, from the other words, I get an idea. Okay, I'm talking about some animals. Okay, 3,000 years after they went extinct makes sense. So, absolutely, E is the answer. All right. I am so glad to hear that, Prasanna. It makes me feel that I'm making a difference. I think that is what life is all about. Uh, all right. Yes. So, E is the answer for this word interchange. And apart, so far we've done word interchange, word usage, fill in the blanks, antonyms, right? Okay, so somehow the instructions got pasted after the main slide. Okay, and this question got repeated. That's what happened. Now I know why we couldn't see the instructions first. Look at this question here. One word fits in multiple blanks, and it's a very easy question. One word fits in multiple blanks. Tell me which is that word out of these five options. Yes. All right. Let me see who answers the fastest because this is a very easy question. Varun has answered the fastest. He says A, followed by Karthik. Karthik also says A. All right. E is not visible. Oh, I'm so sorry. E is communicate. E is communicate. Let me just write it here. E is communicate. Okay. I am just showing you. Thank you, Kashish. अच्छा so अब आंसर चेंज हो गया somehow. uh, can't see option 5. All right, I hope it's visible now. It means is communicate. Okay, D, E. Okay, all right, so again a deluge of E. Many animals are able to see. A cannot come here at any cost. To dash with each other, we need a verb here, right? To dash with each other very well. So to communication with each other, to discussion with each other does not make sense at all. To talk with each other, but then animals don't really talk, isn't it? It's a term that we use for human beings. So eliminated. converse with each other or communicate. See, communication involves all forms of communication, verbal, non-verbal, tactile, okay, all forms. Converse, again, when I talk about a conversation, that is a term that is used generally for human beings. So converse does not fit. It's E. From the first blank itself, you can actually deduce this, that the answer is E. Okay. So that is, animals cannot speak and therefore cannot use words. So talk and converse are out of the picture. Animals use smells, movements, and sounds to communicate. For human beings, the use of words means the use of labels or symbols and then organizing them in a certain way to, again, convey, communicate something. So our answer is communicate. Yes, the Josh is high. I want it to be high. Vocabulary and grammar, anyway, they are very speedy things. Okay, they should save you time and you should attempt them, with this lively spirit that I have to save my time here and I have to maximize my accuracy here. Right? Okay, grammar questions. Again, if you remember the 3 slot analysis that I showed you, the grammar questions were also not constant, right? Difficulty level, usually what I have observed from your previous year papers, whichever are available, it remains easy to moderate for MAH CET. It doesn't go very difficult. Okay, so that's a relief there. And you can expect up now, again, it's an average, approximately 10 to 12 questions you can easily expect from grammar, right? And do remember, this is based on previous year analysis. I'm not really into predictions, right? So let's see what all question types have come over the years. Phrase replacement, wherein a phrase is underlined and you have to replace it with the best grammatically correct alternative. Error spotting, we've practiced so many questions on spotting the errors. I think we did it today itself. Yes, we did one today itself. Fill in the blanks. Find the correct or incorrect sentence. So let's say 5 sentences will be given to you. One of them is correct, you have to spot that. Or one of them is incorrect, you have to spot that grammatically. Error correction, sentence correction. So this is sentence correction and phrase replacement sometimes are very similar. Okay. In sentence correction, usually the entire given sentence is wrong and you have to correct it. In phrase replacement, a certain phrase, a certain portion of it is underlined. That's the only difference. Right? Okay. How many passages? So roosters, as I've shown you, it's not constant. Okay. In one slot, it was 1. In one slot, there were 2. In one slot, there were 5 last year. Right? Okay. Lunatic came in vocabulary. All right. So Ash is telling us that the word lunatic is something that you would know, right? It's not a very difficult word. Okay. So just let me see some of your कौन से ऑप्शन में छोड़ना चाहिए कौन सा टॉपिक अच्छा is optional. So there is no because this is not like, it doesn't work like quant or LRDI. Which topic can you leave if I have to tell you that? See, it depends. So right now you must have realized, okay, this is my strength, this is my weakness, right? So if you feel that critical reasoning or parajumbles, so the verbal logic, that's an area wherein if you feel that, okay, this is my weak area, then you can decide in the exam which all questions, you can be selective about it in the exam. Okay. Anyway, you have to mark something or the other. There's no negative marking. Right. So in verbal logic, you can be a little selective if that happens to be a weak area for you. Right? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Conjunctions. So the questions that you get asked are these questions, right? So now an error could be a conjunction error there. An error could be in phrase replacement, for instance, they might have used but when actually there was no contrast. So they shouldn't have used but. So such conjunction errors you can get in the exam, right? No, 4 of them were short, man. Okay, 4 of them were short. Okay. So go with the flow. Absolutely. Rohit is absolutely right. Acha, so you're asking me, should we just go with the flow? See, you can check how many passages are there, right? You will have access to the paper. So accordingly, you can plan. Okay, so this is the amount of time I have to devote to grammar and vocabulary, right? I'll try to save time here and I'll then devote that to RCs. In RCs, when you come to the RCs, please prioritize. If there are multiple RCs, prioritization becomes all the more important, right? Chalo. let's have a look at some grammar questions. Error spotting right here for you. Tell me what the answer is here. So Rooster, somehow this reminds me, your message reminds me of the movie Stree in case you watched it. So everyone writes outside their home, oh Stree Kalana, right? So you can probably consider writing it somewhere. Pranjal, that depends. So in the first round, what all do you want to do? It depends on that, right? So if in the first round, you're keeping the first round for, let's say, the easiest questions out there, and RCs don't happen to be that easy part for you, then yes, you can go for it in the second round. Okay, so it depends on what you are keeping for your first round. Milind, why are you saying this? Have you seen the paper? Combining two or more sentences, yes, Bharat, that can appear, and that usually involves the use of conjunctions. Yes. Okay, okay. All right, just a second. Option E is not visible again. Oh my God. I think I'll just go for a permanent fix for this. Just give me a second, okay? So now I'm hanging midair. Let me just change that. Yes, so now that won't happen. Option E will be visible. Right. C I have got, B I have got. All right. Okay, okay. B, C, D. My head is covering the content. Okay. So now it won't cover. I have come down. Shubham, B, C. All right. C. Okay. C, D. So this is a previous year question. Okay. I tweaked it a little because I did not want you to just answer something based on your memory. I wanted you to reread this sentence and I wanted you to answer based on what is given to you currently, not what you might have done in the previous year papers practice. Right? Okay, so let's have a look. ABCD सब में error लग रहा है राहुल गांधी को. Okay, let's see what the answer is. As doctors understand a variety of diseases, this part is fine. So this goes out of the window, but cannot predict when you will fall ill. So doctors understand a variety of diseases, but cannot predict when you will fall ill. So B is also fine. Economists' fundamental mission is to forecast recessions, but to explaining. This does not make sense. So D is definitely erroneous, isn't it? D is definitely erroneous. B was fine, no error there. So the answer has to be C. Okay, the answer has to be C. All right. So I hope this is clear to you. Those who were saying D, D Delhi is fine. C is the answer. Now, let's have a look how to correct this. Also, although we were not given that, we didn't really have to do this. So, economists' fundamental mission is not to forecast recessions. Just like, see, doctors understand a variety of diseases, but they can't predict when you'll fall ill. Economists' mission is not to forecast recessions, but to explaining, not to forecast, but to explaining. Is that correct? I should use a different colored marker. I'll keep that in mind. This is incorrect, isn't it? But to explaining. It should be but to explain. Okay, but to explain. And that is why D is also erroneous. C is the answer here. Okay, C is the answer. Okay. क्या gossip चल रही है chat box में? Let me just read it. Okay. So, Putin Bharat ka dost says I am back. All right. Okay. Chalo, chalo. Let's get back. Let's get back to our question. So here, if you see, this was a conjunction. It involved a conjunction concept, right? Not but is a correlative conjunction pair, right? And then this was a parallelism affair, not to forecast but to explain consistency, parallelism, right? So multiple concepts can be tested in one grammar question. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Come on. Phrase replacement or sentence correction. So I have underlined a part of the sentence here. You have to tell me what is the best way of writing this. Yes, give me the best way of writing this. It's a very interesting question. You've done this question? Yes, we've done this question earlier. You're correct, Sushmita. So Vaishnavi says B, Vicky says C. So let me see how much you remember from that time. Okay, B, C, E. But I've got more of C so far. All right. E, okay. Now I'm getting E also in a good number. C again. Okay. All right. So E, okay. Now I've got one E, one B also. Okay. Let's have a look. See, I've got quite a few C's and I'm really happy that you've said C because that is the answer. That means you remember. So now tell me, why is A incorrect? Yes, what's wrong with A? If you remember that C is the answer, you must remember this also. Machine A is more efficient at shredding plastic sheets than is machine B. Okay. Converting them to small plastic granules. What does this them stand for? Converting them stands for plastic sheets, right? So given rule of noun pronouns is that ideally we should try to keep the pronoun as close to the noun as possible, right? So that it's clear what we have used the pronoun for. So we have used this pronoun for plastic sheets, so we should ideally keep plastic sheets here, okay, as close to the pronoun them as possible, right? So that is happening in C and D. That is happening in C and D. But if you look at D, that's not even a complete sentence. It's not even a complete sentence. It does not have a verb at all, right? So A is incorrect because it says machine A is more efficient at shredding these plastic sheets than is machine B. It's wordy. It does not make a direct comparison between machine A and machine B. And when you place machine B here, uh, basically you are distancing plastic sheets from them, which is not the ideal way to write this sentence. So it's wordy, it's not the ideal way to write it, it's creating confusion, and it's creating an unnecessary distance between machine A and machine B. So the least distance happens to be in sentence C. Machine A is more efficient than machine B. Such a direct comparison. Machine A is more efficient than machine B. X is more efficient than Y. X is better than Y. At what? Now I'm giving you at shredding these plastic sheets, right? They're converting them. So now it's these plastic sheets are near them as well. ठीक है, सबको समझ में आ रहा है ये? Now B says machine is more efficient at, oh my god, this can have this meaning that machine A can shred machine B also, but it's more efficient at shredding these plastic sheets than it is at shredding machine B. Right? This is giving that impression कि machine A machine B को भी shred कर सकती है, पर वो plastic sheets better shred करती है. ठीक है? So C, comparison. Absolutely correct, Sushmita. Absolutely correct. Multiple mock questions. This was one of the most useful practice question. Okay. Yes, absolutely, Vicky. That's because this is a parallelism question, and parallelism in grammar is a topic that is based both on grammar as well as logic. It's very logically appealing also. You get it instantly, right? So that's why C is the answer here. Good. Okay, now very easy question. It's basically an FIB that's based on prepositions. Okay. All right. Let's see what you say. Correct, Bharat. Direct, indirect topic. Okay. All right, reflection. Direct, indirect, it can be incorporated very easily. Okay. A, D. In E, okay. Adinshu has asked this. Adinshu, yes, most of the errors in this in the previous question were based on parallelism errors, parallelism only. So I'll still go back once after this and confirm that. Right? D, A, C. Okay, okay. What else? D, A, C, B. D again. All right. Okay. D, A, C, B. Okay. So I've got, I don't know, very diverse responses here. So he always boasted. First of all, is there a word called fastly? No. Fast is an adjective also. Fast is an adverb also. Okay. He runs fast. Not that he runs fastly. That is incorrect. So eliminate it. Okay. Now he always boasted on. On what? Okay. He always boasted on does not make sense. He always boasted around how quick he could run. Boasted around what? Again, the question is what? Right? So does not make sense. He always boasted of. Yes, you boast of something or you boast about something. Right? Either you boast of something or about something. And when it's followed by how questions, usually it's off. So C is the answer here. Over, on, around, all are incorrect. Okay. And also quick is incorrect here. Quickly is the adverb. Okay. For an adverb, you should not say how quick he could run. You should say how quickly he could run. Okay. So hope this is clear. All right. Okay. Any other query? Let me just check the chat box. Okay. Okay. So yes, Ratul, there is content for passages also. There is a content for inference questions based on critical reasoning also. And in the course of watching those passages, you will get main idea questions, my friend. Don't worry. Just watch some of those RC passages sessions. Okay. And yes, E is what you've asked. Machine A shreds plastic sheets more efficiently than machine B. Okay. Absolutely. There is a confusion here. This is an ambiguous sentence. Okay. Why? Because than machine B does, is that what I mean to say? If this is what I mean to say, then okay, this is correct. But another interpretation is that it shreds plastic sheets also and it shreds machine B also. So it's an ambiguous sentence. That's the problem with it. Parallelism error, you are right. Okay? Okay. Now, here we have another question. I hope you're able to look at both the text and me. Just a second, just a second. About and swiftly. Boasted about how swiftly he could run. Boasted of how, okay, boasted about. Mm-mm. We could use it. We could use it because about is also correct. About is also correct. Okay, Bharat, hope this clarifies your query. Okay, all right. Yes, come on, tell me. This is a very easy previous year question. I included it because it's a previous year question. You have to match the columns here. Column 1, 2, and 3. You have to match them. Okay. So tell me, what is the correct answer? Included this just because in one of the years such questions were asked wherein 3 columns were given to you. Yes. C, A, all right. I have got quite a few A's. Others, what do you say? An extremely easy question. Yes, no need to match. Absolutely correct. A is the answer. Okay. So ADG makes perfect sense. So actually, this is a question. Why I included it in grammar is because you have to see that vaccine shot for COVID, is that correct or not? So you are basically checking if the preposition is correct or not. And shared, you're checking, okay, does this conjunction fit here or not? That's how it becomes a grammar question. Okay, and absolutely correct. A very easy question, just included it because it is a previous year question. All right. Now, coming to the last part, verbal logic. Now, I have had a parajumble session also in last lap with you, parajumbles demystified. Then I also had a critical reasoning session with you. In case verbal logic poses a problem for you, do watch those sessions. Apart from those, we've had so many sessions at 12 about parajumbles, about critical reasoning. You can watch those as well. Right? Accused of, yes, you are accused of a crime. Boast can be followed by about also, Sanil. So of or about, either of these two prepositions. Again, number of questions not constant. We saw this in those three slots that I showed you. Difficulty level usually stays easy to moderate unless your parajumble is pretty lengthy, is philosophical also. You have not even been given any option about the sequence, then it becomes difficult, and that's why the moderate part. Otherwise, you get easy critical reasoning questions, not very difficult. So approximately 5 to 7 questions, and these could be on which topics? Let's see that. Instead of my writing it here, let's see that. Parajumbles, these could be MCQ. Odd one out also you can see. Remember in Parajumbles Demystified, which of the following 5 sentences does not match the theme of the other 4? That's an odd sentence out. Then MAH CET Parajumble, wherein you are given an entire set of questions, which again we covered. So these three we've covered very well in our last lab session on parajumbles demystified. Okay, you can check that. Sentence jumbles, we are going to see one today, and critical reasoning, again I've covered it in a whole session. So let's have a look. Okay, at a critical reasoning question first. This is an interesting question. I want your attention here. Read this question stem carefully, and what you have to do, let me show you that. You have to infer something from this argument. You have to infer something, right? So let's see what you infer here. Okay, okay. What is happening? Why is Musk interfering in my class? This is like a short RC for you. Read it. Come on. I want enthusiastic participation in this one. Options. Yes, let me show you the options now. Okay. Thank you, Saurabh. So let me see what Rahul Gandhi has to say about this. Yes. Which option do you think is correct? Since you've been so active in the chat box. C, A. All right, all right. C is what quite a few of you say. Okay, okay. All right. D also I've got. One D, one A, two Ds. Okay. Okay. So, uh, this is what I've got. But overwhelmingly, you've said this, that the store may have concluded that she was pregnant based on her purchase patterns. Absolutely correct. Okay. Now, A says the store may be lying about Ria's pregnancy to push the sales of its baby care products. If it is lying, how will the sales of the baby care products get pushed? Right? If she's not pregnant, she's not going to buy them anyway, right? So, no, we can't infer this. Uh, D, the store may have meant to advertise its baby care products in general to her. This is false as per the paragraph. It was a very specified, it was a targeted ad, right? Uh, she received a mail. Okay, so targeted ads is what they were doing. So, absolutely correct. C is the answer here. Yes, absolutely. Good that most of you said C. I hope it is clear. B says she is pregnant. No, we cannot conclude this from the given information, right? It could actually have been an error on the store's part. So we cannot conclude this. Not at all. Okay, the store should not have been called a bad. This is a judgment. This is like a moral judgment that you're giving. It is not an inference or conclusion based on the text, right? So very happy to see that you were able to conclude. See, so this is the level of critical reasoning questions in your exam also. Okay, and it's actually an actual case. Okay, I read it in a book, and you can find out about it. I think the company involved was Procter and Gamble, if I'm not wrong. PNG or some major company was involved. Yes, let's have a look at our sentence jumble. So see, 5 words are given to you. You have to arrange them in a logical and coherent sentence. Yes. Okay. Last question for the day. Last question. All right. Choose the most logical order. Okay. Adinchu says B, Shubham B, Sanil C. Okay. Absolutely, Ratul. I second you here. And you know, that argument can be very well weakened. That she could be buying those products for someone else, no? For a friend, let's say, for a cousin, for a sister. She could be buying those products for someone else. So it's actually, I mean, this conclusion on the company's part that she was the one who was pregnant. I mean, this conclusion anyway, we cannot make that she was the one who was pregnant. Okay. Okay. Shubham says, take it away at once. Absolutely correct. Take it away at once. So, what should be our answer then? 3, 2. All right. So, the moment you figure out 3 and 2, see, when you have options, the sentence jumbles become very, very easy. Okay. So, this is all that you can ask for, having options in a sentence jumble. Take it away at once. So, I hope you now have a sense of the sentence jumble questions that you're asked. Very easy, the easier cousins of para jumbles. What tips do I have for you, right? Since it's your last session in the last lap with me, right? Practice as many questions from these areas as you can. I know you've been practicing a lot. Order the areas in the test that, okay, I'm going to attempt vocabulary first, grammar, then RC passages. At least you can decide this, that RCs I'm going to attempt later, even if it's a jumbled paper, right? Apply grouping and elimination in vocabulary. It works wonders, right? So if, let's say, a negative word is given to you and its antonym has been asked, it's going to be a positive word. It can't be a negative word again, right? So group the options on that basis. Eliminate. Read the grammar and verbal logic questions very carefully. Don't speed read grammar questions. It does not work that way. How will you spot an error if you're speed reading a grammar question, right? So read them carefully. Carefully does not mean at a turtle snail pace. No. VL questions also important for parajumbles. Read them carefully. And lastly, this is something that you also understand very intuitively. You have to focus more on the easy and direct questions because you have to maximize your accuracy and your score. All right. How to guess answers. I actually made a short video on this, how to guess. So see, if you've narrowed down to 2 options, then probability is your friend, right? If let's say you have a hunch that 60-65% ye wala answer hai, B is the answer, mark it. If you're not able to guess anything for those options, for those questions, ghar se hi soch ke chale jao, okay, I am going to mark B for all those questions where I'm not able to guess anything at all. Okay, that's how it works, right? Okay, and yes, you have these sessions, upcoming sessions. Srinivas sir is going to talk to you about QA, and Gaurav sir is going to talk to you about logical reasoning, right? Again, a PYQB analysis. Welcome, welcome all of you. Cause effect questions, Sanil. We had a verbal reasoning session, I believe, not a separate cause effect one. Uh, have you gone through the previous year questions of cause effect? You can find a lot of these questions in your bank PO exams, SSC exams. They're asked there. So you can search for that question bank. You'll find them on Google. Right? Okay. Welcome, welcome all of you. Strategy. Rohit, ये सारी strategy तो थी, इतनी सारी जो tips दी. These were the strategies. All right. So Ishmita, we are going to have sessions at 12 p.m. So it's the last lap session with me. Otherwise, you are going to meet me till your exam at 12 p.m. Okay, Tuesday to Saturday. All right. So we are still going to meet. Okay. Yes, tomorrow we do have a session at 12 p.m. Okay, we do have a session, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join us for the first impression and analysis of the MAH CET exam. All right. Thank you, Ratul. Thank you so much. This means a lot. Welcome, welcome all of you. I'll see you tomorrow at 12. Okay. Bye bye. Welcome and all the best, everyone. Bye.